So who have you got in your team this week? AGUERO? Salah? Mane? Hey guys, this is Jack from It's Only FPL. Today's video we're going to take you through a preview of game week 23. So if you're new here, don't forget to click subscribe for all the latest weekly FPL content. Hey guys, it's that time again, Game Week 23's preview. So take you on to what I'm going to have in our show today. Game Week 22 review, we're going to go through obviously how we did in Game Week 22. Game Week 23 fixtures, players to watch, and then followed by team selection. And that is my final team that I've submitted already. Okay, so take you on to the review of Game Week 22. How did we do? How did you do? 64 points was my finish. Obviously above average, so the 57 was the average mark for the week. So always going to be happy with that if you're above the average. But 64 compared to a few other people in my leagues, quite low, so not that happy. Defence goalkeeper, obviously Schmeichel, Egan, Alexander-Arnold all got me points, so that was decent return. Small points from midfield, but De Bruyne, Salah, both consistent, so they're getting points. If you get either of them in your team, like we said last week's show, you're going to get points, I think, consistently. And then moving on to my strikers, actually probably my best haul for the week. A couple of goals from Rashford, obviously, got us 12 points, and Vardy's one got points, obviously he's my captain, 10 points, but a poor return, not that impressed or pleased with it. I think most of us were expecting at least a couple goals against Southampton at home. Southampton obviously won 2-1, so that blew that out of the way. But obviously Vardy did get some points, so that's something. As predicted, Greenwood got me 5 points as well. I think he was only on the pitch for like 5 minutes, so that's a result. Certainly a good value player to have. I think 4.2 million is completely worth it at the moment, as a third choice for sure. Okay, so that's how we did last week. Moving on to the fixtures we have for Game Week 23. You can see there, obviously all 10 fixtures. The Watford Spurs game is the early kickoff at 12:30 on the Saturday. So that is the deadline, obviously 11:30 on the Saturday, so make sure you remember that. The following players that I'm going to show you who I would recommend to have in your team or to be thinking about, obviously players to watch, are all based on these fixtures here for obviously the next round. So moving on to Game Week 23 fixture, Game Week 23 players to watch. And the first one I'm going to shout for is Troy Deeney. I think I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. He's back from injury. Obviously, Watford have had a new manager change recently. He's very low price. I still think 6.2 mil for a fairly consistent striker for the last couple of years. I think, obviously, 7 points last week as well. Tottenham at home, early game, London derby. It's a perfect game for someone like Troy Deeney. I can see him getting a goal or two. So would totally recommend having him in your team or pulling him in. Second, maybe slightly controversial, Martinelli. Reason being mainly obviously is the price, very, very low price striker, 4.5 mil. Obviously he's not done a lot this year so much in terms of points for fantasy, but Aubameyang's out now. So if you are thinking about obviously having a third striker, maybe an alternative to like a Greenwood, I would recommend pulling him in now. He's possibly going to get some starts coming up in the next few weeks, as I mentioned. Obviously Aubameyang out, so one to watch for sure. And on to my next one, Mahrez. We all know about Mahrez, obviously, nothing too much of a surprise, but consistency while he's been at Man City has been the problem. If he gets a run of games, I think he will be. So 8.5 mil for a midfielder, Mahrez quality, someone that can bang out 17 points every now and again is totally worth it. And obviously not that many people got him in their team as well. So if you're looking to sort of creep up on someone else in your league, could be a shout to have him for next week. Right, yeah, on to the next one. Danny Ings, of course, again, not a surprise. He's scoring goals every single week, but he's one that you almost can't leave out. And based on the fixture, Southampton at home, I think there's every good chance against Wolves. Good chance he's going to score again. So for the price as well, obviously 6.8, totally worth having in. High amount of people have him in their teams now, obviously, and 123 points is why. Yeah, and more 5 points from last week as well from him. Okay, and yep, on to the next one. Brings into a little bit for Game Week 24. Obviously, there's a double round. Sebastian Haller, not done a lot this season so far. 74 points is okay, but obviously for the price, 7 mil, you can get better value. But they've got a double game week coming up against Liverpool as well, one of them. So that's one where if you're looking to get obviously a bit extra come from one player, Haller could be one. Right, on to another one. So, yeah, Almiron started to score a little bit, assist, pop up with a few points every now and again. Last game week, 22, got 8 points. So, and again, price very low, so I would totally recommend. Very few people have him in their team, so another one that could be a good one to sneak up on people. Okay, so This is my final team for game week 23. I've submitted transfers and done it, taken a 4-point hit. I have taken out Marcus Rashford and I've taken out one of my defenders to replace with Mariappa. The defender was Tamori from Chelsea, not played I think for a couple of weeks, so taken out now. And that was quite a high price, 4.7 he was. And the reason for Mariappa coming in mainly is because obviously Watford are starting to pick up the odd clean sheet, new manager, a little bit of an upturn, and Aguero, how can you not put him in after 20 points last week? Okay, so yeah, as I mentioned, Sergio Aguero is coming in, 20 points last week. He's not had his best season, but he's capable of scoring every single game. I'm going straight with him for captain. Crystal Palace at home is the ideal game for Aguero. Hopefully he plays. That's obviously Guardiola, don't throw a spanner in the works. But if he plays, I think there's a good chance of getting points there. And 11.8 mil, obviously, I think is better value than Aguero's been in the last few years. So a good one to pick in. And like as I said, Mariappa from Watford. No particular reason for him. Obviously, he had to fit my price. So 4.2 mil was perfect for me to get in. I think I've got no money in the bank now. Very low return from him in total this year. So nothing, like I said, specific about him. But a Watford defender, I think, could be quite a good shout coming up now, especially with the new manager. They look a bit more solid. Okay. So yes, it. Yep. Game week 23 preview. Let me know what you think. If your team's the same, if you've got any other ideas, how you're building for game week 24 as well, feel free to get in touch. Thanks a lot.